Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor and I share What's for Dinner videos like this every week. This one is actually a part of a giant What's for Dinner group collab. We're all going to be adding our videos to a playlist. This is put together by my friends Julia and Caitlin. I will have their channels linked down below as well. But if you need some dinner ideas, make sure you check out that playlist down below. I know all the ladies are going to have some awesome videos for you guys. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. It is Friday and tonight for dinner we are doing quesadillas. If you saw last week's What's for Dinner, you know that we did a steak chipotle bowl. So we have some leftover steak. I already set some aside for Andy. This I heated up for myself. The kids prefer not to have steak in their quesadillas. They prefer like chicken quesadillas or just cheese or beans. So I'm going to put the beans in their quesadilla and steak in mine. We've got some cheddar cheese, some Monterey Jack cheese, some of this chipotle sauce from Taco Bell. I've got burrito sized tortillas and also these smaller ones. I'm going to use these ones for the kids and these ones for me and Andy. Andy won't be home till later, so I'll make his later. And then we will have some cheese dip and a salsa with it. I'm about to heat this up while I get our quesadillas going. I'm gonna put a little bit I'm gonna put a little bit of butter in my pan and get my tortillas on there and load them up. Okay, here is dinner. This one is mine with the steak. These are the kids with the beans. And then we really like the salsa. I bought it multiple times and it's very good. It's like restaurant style. It's not too chunky or anything. And we really like this chipotle sauce. We've had that for a while and we use it almost every time we make quesadillas. And then this is the first time we're trying this. And I don't know if there was another one that wasn't hot with jalapenos. I was making sure it had jalapenos and just like completely didn't even think about the fact that this might be too hot. So next time I will look again and see if there's a medium, because I would much rather have a medium because this one is pretty dang spicy. If you like really spicy cheese dip, definitely recommend that. But we're definitely gonna need a lot of water to eat it. I like spicy, but it's a little spicy. So we've got that. And salsa and chips and our quesadillas. And that is going to be dinner for Friday. It is Saturday night and tonight for dinner I am making some chicken sandwiches. As you can see here, I have some chicken breasts laid out on a piece of wax paper. I just took 2 ginormous chicken breasts and sliced them in half horizontally so that they were thinner. And then I sliced them in half the other way so I had smaller pieces that would fit on like a burger bun. Some of these aren't going to turn out so well. Like I think this one's like kind of split down the middle, but we'll just eat it as leftovers as something else, or kids can just eat it like chicken tenders or something. But I'm going to flatten this out even more so that it gets even thinner. Usually when I flatten my chicken, I do it in a Ziploc bag because I hate using plastic wrap. It never works out for me. I can never rip it off. It's just a mess. It's always sticking to itself, so I just usually don't deal with plastic wrap. But I saw somebody, I cannot remember who, I feel like it was in a video here on YouTube, use wax paper or parchment paper or something. So that is what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to use my meat mallet and beat these all a little bit so they can get a little bit thinner. Okay, I'm gonna get this all seasoned up with some Badia and some Tony's Creole seasoning, and then I've got my cast iron pan heating up. I'm gonna add some olive oil and some butter, and all of this isn't gonna fit, so I'll probably have to do it in 2 batches. Okay, to go with our chicken sandwiches, we've just got some fries. There's a seasoned fries from Aldi. I've got a Clausen sandwich slice pickle. I prefer them in the sandwich slices for some reason. That's just what I like. And on my sandwich, I have chicken, some cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, and a little bit of Duke's mayonnaise. The kids just have chicken and cheese, and they are starting off with a half of a sandwich each. Fries, and then they have cucumbers. Elijah did ask for a pickle. Lily might have some little grape tomatoes as well if she wants something else to go with hers. And as I said, this is going to be plenty of chicken. We've got all this left if the kids want more. Lunch tomorrow, plenty of leftovers. It is Sunday, and tonight for dinner I just made Cowboy Beans. If you've been here a while, you've seen me make this at least a handful of times. I originally got the recipe from Jess over at Jess and the Boys, and I pretty much make it the exact same way. So I will leave her video link down below. I will also leave my link down below for where I made it, like in depth, because I do change like 2 things. I don't use as much sriracha, and then I don't put mine in the oven. I just like let it simmer on the stove for a few minutes. So just a little bit different, but it is inspired by her recipe, and I mostly follow it. So as I said, link down below. It's just pork and beans, bacon, ground beef, and then like some other seasonings, and it's super delicious and it's super quick to put together. I've been editing videos all day to try to get like my channel, my videos for the week completely done, because starting tomorrow Andy is off for a week, so I just like don't want to be editing during the week while he's off. So I got all that done and just wanted something super simple. So I also pulled out some of our bread from the freezer, made us some quick garlic bread in the air fryer, and that is going to be dinner for Sunday. It is Monday and I am getting started on dinner. For dinner tonight we are going to do some fried pork chops. I've got those over here, and some potatoes in the air fryer, and a can of peas, and then we're also going to have some applesauce with it. The thing that is going to take the longest are these potatoes in the air fryer. So I have washed them, dried them. I'm going to cut them up into like little bite-sized pieces, toss them in some olive oil and some Tony's and Badia, and then I will put them in the air fryer basket and put it on 400 degrees for probably about 20 minutes, and then I will work on my pork chops. Okay, potatoes are going in the air fryer. I've got my peas here on low heat. I'm gonna add probably about a tablespoon of butter and some garlic powder and salt and pepper, and just let those sit on like low heat until everything else is done. I've got my cast iron heating up over medium. Once it's hot, probably about when the potatoes get to 10 minutes, I will start frying my pork chops. That way they're not sitting for too long because they're gonna cook pretty quick. And I will add, I'm gonna use some bacon grease to cook the pork chops in because I have it and it's good for my cast iron. So I'm gonna use that instead of using oil or butter. So I'm gonna get my bacon grease out of the fridge. I have like a whole jar of it and I need to use it more often if I'm going to save it. So I'm gonna do that. And then for the pork chops, I'm just gonna season them with some Badia because it's good on everything. And I already put the Creole seasoning on the potatoes, so we're not going to do it on the pork chops this time, just the Badia. Okay, here is our finished dinner. Here is my plate. I've got some applesauce. We can dip our pork chops in here or just eat it by itself. Pork chops are really good dipped in applesauce. Got our peas, our potatoes. Here are the kids. I went ahead and cut up their pork chops. And Andy's, and he might eat another pork chop. I'm not sure. It might be enough food. Who knows? But we still have 2 more pork chops for more food if anybody wants it, or leftovers. It is Tuesday night, and tonight for dinner I am making spaghetti pie. This comes from this Better Homes and Gardens cookbook. I always have it linked to my Amazon store if you're interested in buying it, but I will also link the recipe down below as well. I'm starting off by browning some ground beef. I've seasoned it with a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder, and this is a pound, but I'm only going to use half of it for this recipe, so once this is cooked I will remove half and use it for something else. I've got some homemade red sauce that I'm going to use part of. I think it's only like 8 ounces. Yeah, so not going to use the whole thing. And then I'm also currently boiling some salted water to cook up our spaghetti. We only need about 4 ounces of spaghetti noodles. So I'm going to get this all browned up and then we will put together our pie. Okay, I have cooked my 4 ounces of noodles. It might be a little bit more than 4 ounces, but I've got that here. And now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. It just says regular butter, but I'm going to use a tablespoon of this garlic butter because I think it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to add that. Okay, and then I have 1/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. This is just the kind that comes in the green shaker bottle. I'm gonna add that, and then I'm also going to do 1 beaten egg, and then I'm gonna set that aside until I'm ready to put together the pie. I have got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. I'm going to spray my 9-inch pie pan with some nonstick cooking spray, and then I'm going to press my spaghetti mixture into the pan and up the sides to kind of form a crust. Alright, now I've got 1 cup of cottage cheese that I'm going to spread all over this. Alright, now my meat and sauce mixture is going to go on top, and then I will sprinkle this with some mozzarella cheese. And then this is going to go in that 350 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, here is dinner. I just made some zucchini to go with it. I cooked it in some olive oil and some of that Chef Chamois butter and a little bit of the Badia Complete seasoning. That is going to be dinner for Tuesday. It is Wednesday, and tonight for dinner I am making wings in the air fryer. So I've got my wings laid out on a baking sheet, and I just dried them off with some paper towels. And I'm going to do these 2 different ways. I was going to eat buffalo sauce. I know Andy's going to eat buffalo sauce on them. The kids don't typically eat buffalo wings. They just eat them plain. And I decided I don't really want buffalo sauce. And I have this garlic parmesan stuff. So I'm going to do half with this and half with just salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And then Andy will toss them in sauce when he goes to eat them. So I've got 2 bowls to do the 2 separate things. I'll probably do this in 2 batches in the air fryer. I don't think I'll have to do any more than that. So I think I'm going to cook them on like 360 is what I was reading, for like 18 minutes. Tossing them like 3 times during that 18 minutes. So like every 6 minutes toss them. And then for the last like 5 minutes bump it up to like 400 to get them good and crispy. So I'm going to do that for each batch. And then I will turn on my oven like on really low so that they can sit in there and stay warm until everything is done. Somebody just made a mess. And then I'm also going to make some onion rings, just a bag of frozen onion rings. And then we'll have some veggies to go with this. Okay, these are the garlic parmesan wings. I just threw Andy's, like, pretty much plain ones back in the air fryer to crisp them up just a little bit more. They've been keeping warm in the oven, but I think they need to be a little bit more crispy. These ones turned out really good. So just a couple more minutes on Andy's. He's going to toss his in this Moore's original buffalo sauce. We really like this one. And then these are the onion rings. There were some, like, really massive ones in there. These are Kroger brand. First time I've ever tried them. The breading was already falling off of them prior to putting them in the air fryer, but the ones that were breaded nicely stayed put together in the air fryer, so that's good. Here is my plate. Got some carrots, celery, ranch. I might throw some cucumbers on there as well. I haven't decided yet. Got a couple onion rings and some wings. Here is Lily's. Of course, we have more wings. She's got tomatoes, a piece of celery to try, and some carrots. She doesn't like onion rings, so there is that. And then here is Elijah's. See, look at how massive this one onion ring was. Huge. I'm probably going to have to take the chicken off of the bone for him because he's not a big fan of pulling the chicken off himself. But that is going to be our dinner for Wednesday. It is Thursday. Tonight for dinner we're going to do some round steak and gravy over rice. I have shared this recipe before, but I did it in the Instant Pot. Tonight I'm doing it in the Crockpot. My beef is still partially frozen. I just thawed it enough so that I could get it out of the Ziploc bag. So I've got that in there. I'm going to cook it on high all day. And to that I'm going to add 1 packet of Lipton onion soup, 1 packet of brown gravy, 2 cups of water, and some minced garlic. And as I said, just let that cook all day. Okay, it's been like 5.5 hours. I just checked on this. It is done. They are nice and tender. It's, I want this to be more like a gravy. So I'm going to add some cornstarch and water. So I just mixed a little bit of that in there, cold water and some cornstarch. So I'm going to stir that in there and then just let this sit on warm until my rice is done. I just put the rice in the Instant Pot. I have a recipe for perfect white rice. I will leave it down below. It's equal parts water and rice, a splash of oil or butter, and a splash of vinegar. And then you could also use chicken bouillon and water. Make like a chicken broth if you wanted to do that instead of just plain water. But today I just kept it as water because we will have this gravy to go over it to flavor it. So once the rice is done, we will have dinner. Okay, here's the finished dinner. We've got our steak over our rice, and then I just made a can of corn to go with it, and I just put a little bit of garlic powder, a lot of pepper, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of butter in that. And yeah, we really like this combination, like the corn with all that, like pretty much mix everything together, and it's delicious. So there's Andy's and mine and the kids, and I went ahead and just kind of like shredded their meat up with a fork. Super tender, super easy to shred. But that is going to be dinner for Thursday. And that is going to be it for this week's What's for Dinner. As I mentioned in the beginning, this was part of a collab in a giant playlist, so I will have that link down below and make sure you check it out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!